Today we're going to talk about database types. So first we're going to start off with what is a database. A database is a computer structure that saves, organizes, protects, and delivers data. A database management system, or DBM, is any system that contains databases. So here's a timeline of major dates in database history. We're going to go in more detail about each of these times. So in ancient times, humans began to store information a long time ago. They had elaborate ways to store data, and these are still used and are helpful for our database systems today. In the 60s, this was the start of computerized databases. There are two popular database models at this time, Codicil and IMS. From 1970 to 1972, E.F. Code published important papers to propose the use of relational database models, and this changed how people thought of databases, and it made it more, it just showed the impact that databases have and how helpful they are. In the 70s, UBC, Systems R, and query language were all developed, and the relational database management system, or RDBMS, became a popular term. In 1976, entity relationship, or ER, was proposed, and this made it possible for designers to focus on data application, not logical table structures. In the 80s, SQL became the standard language, and RDBMS that we talked about that was popular in the 70s became commercialized, so it was easier to get. In the 90s, in the early 90s, after there was a massive database shakeout, and after this shakeout, the only companies that were left sold their complex databases at incredibly high prices. In the mid-90s, Excel was developed, and the growing use of the internet caused an exponential growth of the database industry. And then in the 2000s, the 2000s and now kind of blend together. So there are 5 major things about databases now: text database, desktop database programs, RDBMS, NoSQL, and object-oriented databases, and normalization. So text is the simplest form of a database. The data is organized into simple rows and columns. This is like your Excel spreadsheet, things like that are so easy for anyone's able to organize data that way. Desktop database programs are intended for a single user: Microsoft Excel, spreadsheets, and Microsoft. Super easy again. Most of them come with your computer, not that expensive to get. RDBMS is, it's kind of the same as the desktop database programs, but it just has better performance and for a higher quantity of users. NoSQL attempts to organize bookshelves by storing data in a denormalized way, which means it stores it in large chunks. And normalization is intended for a single user: Microsoft Excel and spreadsheet and Microsoft. There are 5 different database types: relational, operational, database warehouses, distributed, and end-user databases. So some examples of relational databases are Oracle, Microsoft SQL, and Sybase. It's the most common database. Data is stored in various data tables, and you have a key field that you fill out. Operational database is data from inventory management, purchases, transactions, and financials, important for companies that have customer or personal or inventory basis, and this allows data to be manipulated in real time. Database warehouses stores previously used data, and this can be stored for data is useful for up to 6 years. Distributed databases is a storage device that is not attached to a common processing unit, so it's freestanding. And end-user databases contain data created by individual users, like word processing, spreadsheets, and download files. I hope that this was helpful in your learning of database types. Thank you.